Good afternoon and welcome everyone. I'll call this joint meeting of the Implementation Board and Governing Committee to order. We will conduct this meeting via Zoom. All attendees will be muted. Please note that this meeting is being recorded. All visual, verbal, and written contents are public record. Let's go ahead and move on to roll call, and Jeannie will start with the Implementation Board.
Reverend Carrie Anderson, if you could just say if you're present or not. Nate Caminos.
Present.
Paula Carvalho.
Present.
John Chalminiak.
Present.
Gordon McHenry Jr.
Present.
Harold Odom. I see you, Harold. Sorry, you were still muted. If you could just unmute and say present.
Present.
Great, thank you. Adrian Quinn. Michael Ramos.
Present.
Sarah Rankin.
Here.
Simha Reddy.
Present.
Juanita Spotted Elk.
Also want to call out Jamie and Pat Nod.
I'm here too, Carrie.
Thank you.
Thanks, Damien.
And I thought I saw Juanita is connecting to audio. I see you. I'll go ahead and mark you down. So we do have a quorum of the Implementation Board. I'll go ahead and move on to the Governing Committee. Nancy Backus.
Here.
Angela Burney.
Here.
Dow Constantine. Jenny Durkin.
Here.
Lorena Gonzalez. Jonathan Hemphill.
Here.
Andrew Lewis.
Present.
Kirk McLean.
Here.
Thank you. Joe McDermott.
Here.
Ed Prince.
Here.
And Zanita Reed. Okay. I see you, Zanita. Thank you. Okay, so we do have quorum of Governing Committee as well.
Thank you. I also want to acknowledge that Adrian Quinn, our Implementation Board member, is also present. Before we begin, all right, thank you for that. Let's go on to an overview of the CEO candidate interview process. Details of the hiring process thus far are available in the CEO hiring process memo that was included in today's meeting materials. As you can see, 4 candidates were approved by the appointed CEO search committee for interviews by the Implementation Board. These candidates were selected after a lengthy stakeholder engagement process, national recruitment, and initial interviews run by the Hawkins Company out of Los Angeles. The prospective candidates represent a diverse and varied background of skills and experience that best adhere to the selection criteria that was developed throughout this process. After preliminary interviews on January 15th, the Implementation Board chose 2 final candidates to continue. Then the Lived Experience Coalition and the Sound Cities Association held separate meet and greets with the candidates last week. Today's meeting is for the final round of interviews and discussion. These interviews will be held in a closed executive session of the board and committee. As with the first round of interviews, the Hawkins Company will facilitate the interview process, and King County staff will provide technical support. King County staff will not be present in the interviews or discussion, but will greet candidates and ensure they are connected with the interview panel. After the second round of interviews and discussions are completed, the group will reconvene. And tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., the Implementation Board will vote on a recommendation of a Chief Executive Officer to be confirmed by the Governing Committee. At tomorrow's special meeting of the Governing Committee, scheduled for Thursday, February 4th from 1 to 3 p.m., the Implementation Board co-chairs Harold Odom and myself will present the resolution on the recommendation to the Governing Committee, and the Governing Committee will then vote to confirm the CEO at that meeting. Any questions? No? See, now we'll just move into executive session. And can I have a motion to move into executive session with a time to reconvene of 4:15 p.m. today?
Gordon here. So move into executive session. Second.
Okay, got a second. A motion, a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. And the vote and motion passes. And with that, we will close and move on to executive session.
I'm sorry, I had myself mute. So
Okay.
we're back in regular session. So call the meeting to order. Do we have staff?
Yeah, we're good. We have Carrie here. Before you move on, Harold, I do want to do a point of recognition here. I do want to recognize that the following members joined the meeting and should be marked as present for roll. Carrie Anderson, Dow Constantine, Reagan Dunn, and Lorena Gonzalez. So please let the roll reflect that all members of the implementation board and governing committee were present and therefore a quorum was met. I'll pitch it back to you, Harold.
I believe we've had a long day. I'm going to entertain a motion for adjournment. We're still in the recruiting process, and we'll meet tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. Implementation board roll. I heard
I so moved.
Gordon McHenry will second.
Then we are adjourned till tomorrow morning. 8 o'clock. We'll see you then.